Welcome to the world's first straight talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
Well, we're heading toward the finish line of 2024, and so I thought we would kind of talk about what are the predictions for 2025 in the world of solar.
Nice.
I mean, we've been doing that for 6 years. We never go back and see how we did, but I'm going to say I'm always right. So
I think you're at 100%.
Yeah, 100%. No problem.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So prediction number one, solar is going to be fine. Solar in California is going to do great. There's so many people that have solar that need a lot more solar. Mm-hmm. This time of year, a lot of people are, their furnaces are going out and then they're replacing them with heat pumps. And heat pumps use electricity while their old furnaces use natural gas. And so a lot of people are going to say, I'm using as much power in the winter as I am in the summer, and I need a lot more solar. So that'll continue because heat pumps are getting, there's rebates available, and there's a $2,000 tax credit through the Inflation Reduction Act, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But lots and lots of people in California are going with the heat pumps rather than a furnace and air conditioner because they're 6 times more efficient and they are smaller. They don't need to be installed up in the attic like a furnace does and so forth. So yeah, there's lots of really, really nice benefits to it. And, they're way less expensive than a furnace and air conditioner together. And, and PG&E does have some small rebates available. So they do make sense, and they're like I said, it's a huge benefit for the homeowner until they get the electricity bill, and then they're going to say,
"Oh no,
why didn't anybody tell me?" So we get that a lot, and they get really mad at the HVAC person, and the HVAC person says, I told you to go with the big air conditioner and furnace that was going to cost 3 times more. So in any event, so it'll be a balance, but as more people go with the heat pump to replace their furnaces and air conditioners, they're going to need a lot more electricity, and electricity is way more expensive than natural gas. So, but you can't grow any natural gas on the roof, so you can definitely grow electricity on the roof as long as you have enough room. And so we run into that too. Lots of people who have solar, we used their prime electricity, their solar exposure space on the first round. And now we're having to use other spaces that are not as beneficial, but still great, still really good. As long as there's no trees in the way and a lot of shading and that kind of stuff, then solar still makes sense. So we can still add on. And so that'll continue. That's never going to stop because of not just heat pumps, but electric cars. And so then the next prediction is that the 30% tax credit will actually grow to a 40% tax credit if you use if you use domestic content. So at least 40% domestic content. Right now, under the Inflation Reduction Act, it's if you're a commercial installer or you're a commercial customer and you install a new solar panel system, you can take the 30% tax credit, and then you use a minimum of 41% of the solar equipment that is made in the U.S. So that can be racking, solar panels, inverters. It doesn't count for labor, which is kind of crazy. But in any event, so if you can use U.S. made solar panels, U.S. made racking, roof attachments, electrical, conduit, everything that you can contribute or goes to the project, then on the commercial side now you can take a 40% tax credit, and there's lots of different loopholes that exclude things, and nonprofits and for-profits,
Right.
not for
Yeah.
profits. All that it's all a maze. So definitely check with your tax professional. But if you are a commercial customer and you are not, or you're in the plan to get a commercial solar project in 2025, definitely it makes sense to look at changing to U.S. made products, because that 10% tax credit, it's on the entire project. So it's not just on the solar panels or on the 41% or anything like that on the domestic content. It's on the entire project. So it is a huge, huge benefit. And so that I think is going to continue. So 30% for residential. However, I do think as this process gets flushed out, I do think that if you're using domestic content on a residential system, I don't see why, and hopefully lawmakers will agree that it makes sense to add this to to upgrade to a 40% tax credit if you're in the residential side using domestic content. So.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh too hard, but that just makes sense. But
for sure, yeah, could not agree more. So it's, but there's a big part of that is battery storage, and most batteries are not made in the U.S. because of the harmful chemicals that are used. But there are a few companies that are starting to move their battery production to the U.S. So if you do solar and a battery that's made in the U.S., or at least 41% of the content, it's possible, not today, but hopefully down the road, 2025, that it will be available for residential customers, so that we can start encouraging more battery use, and that would have a huge effect on the solar. So in previous podcasts, we've talked about the new administration wanting to repeal the Inflation Reduction Act. And upon further research, it looks like about 80% of the Inflation Reduction Act billions that have gone out the door have gone to the red states. And those politicians are not so excited to have that fountain and waterfall of money to stop coming to their states. And so they are not in favor of repealing the Inflation Reduction Act. In addition, the Inflation Reduction Act has a whole universe of other benefits that are out there. And one of them is prescription drug cost controls. And,
oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And so
I like that.
Yep. So that means the seniors are really against anything happening to that. And so plus, we'll see if the administration's right-hand man, the new Department of Government Efficiency chairperson, Elon Musk.
All right.
He has a history in solar power and a 40% tax credit on battery storage would pretty much help his company quite a bit. So
wait, what?
It's true.
Wait, what?
Wait,
how would that work, Jamie? It's
and
all
there's
tariffs.
an electric vehicle tax credit as well. So
what you talking about?
Yeah, so he's kind of big on the electric vehicles, kind of big on not so much on the solar production anymore, but certainly on the battery side.
On the batteries, right?
On the battery side, for sure. And that would tremendously help Tesla. And it would, certainly it's a really good battery, and we've had really, really good luck with it. Some craziness happening, but other than that, it's in process. But overall, I think the Inflation Reduction Act is not going to go anywhere.
Just for clarification for our listeners, a battery for a residential system, how much, like ratio-wise, is that the cost of the entire system? Like one battery is what, 20% of the cost, 30%?
Well, Adam, most things, it depends. How many solar panels are we talking? And
okay, let's do
500 solar panels and one battery.
40 panels.
Oh boy.
Ballpark it.
20%.
All right. Wow.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
Thank you.
Well,
All
I
right,
don't know.
sorry.
I mean, there's so many variables. So,
Okay.
Anywho, so it's it's just like anyway. How much? The nice thing is that I do think number one, electricity prices in 2025, PG&E already has 5 increases approved, and so people who don't have
Wow.
solar, there it's just carrot and stick that we talk about all the time.
Sure.
The stick is going to get much bigger, and if you were on the commercial side, that stick is going to get really heavy in the summer months especially, and so they're just going to be pushing everyone to solar. We're getting lots of businesses now that are saying, wow, they're hitting that pain point that we've always talked about too.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's an increase every 2 months. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but most of those are in the summer months. So,
Oh.
and where it's already, insane. So, those are the 3 big ones. Inflation Reduction Act is going to stay. Electricity prices are going to go up, and we're going to be using more domestic content in our solar projects. So,
That's good.
Yeah, so solar is not going anywhere. We will be
No.
around, and we get lots of people who are, not so excited that their solar company is out of business, and the ones they went with, and they kind of feel it's a scam. So hopefully, we've kind of whittled down away most of the scam companies, and we're left with some of the good ones. And from what I'm seeing out there, there's a lot of really good solar companies in the area that survived the NEM 2, NEM 3 transition. And so now it's onward and upward. So
Excellent.
Yep, 2025 could be the biggest year yet in solar.
It seems like every year eclipses the last one.
There's so much happening in solar just because it's so insane to not use this ball of energy that is beaming power down to us every day, that you're not taking advantage of it. And so, it's only been 20, 30, 50 years. And so it's just nuts that it's taken this long. And still on the commercial side, it's a very, very low amount of businesses have solar. So it's starting to get there, and it's starting to make more and more sense. So we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm right on all 3 of these.
We'll find out.
That's right.
We'll check next time. We'll check back.
That's right.
All right. Thank you very much for spending another 10 minutes out of your week learning a little bit more about solar. Jamie does this podcast as an education effort and has been doing so for 7-8 years now. So thank you very much to our loyal listeners. If you have a question for Jamie for an upcoming episode, go to our Facebook page, Straight Talk Solarcast. Send us a message through there. You can also go to a library of our past episodes. It's on our website, solarharmonics.com. Click on the podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be taken to that library. If you have a friend considering going solar, this would be an excellent podcast to refer them to. It will save them thousands upon thousands of dollars over the life of their system. What better friend is that? We always ask. I don't know. Until next time, everyone. See you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com, and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.